What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Ace Sawman here, back to a video, and today we will be predicting every single division winner in the NFL this upcoming season. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and make sure to like the videos. Literally, if you guys do both those things, it takes 2 seconds. It helps me grow so much, and I really would be appreciative. Y'all been absolutely killing it recently, and I'm so thankful for that. Make sure to comment any recommendations and feedback down below. I literally look at everything y'all comment, so it really would help me out. And make sure to comment your guys' predictions down below, because again, I really am interested to see what you guys have. Because at the end of the day, I do this to get interactions, and I do this to see what everyone else wants to see, and I do stuff I would want to watch. So, yeah, guys, so we're going to get straight into this list right now, and I'm not going to be giving y'all like record predictions for each team. That's going to take too long. I can do it in separate series if you guys would like, but instead we'll just be doing division winners for this video. Our first division we will be doing is the AFC East, and I have the Miami Dolphins winning this division. This clip's very badly timed, by the way, but I had the Miami Dolphins win this division. I had the Jets finishing second, the Bills third, and the Patriots last. Obviously, the Patriots last. I do not think the Patriots are going to be competitive this year. They are a very young team with a rookie head coach, though, so, there's no shame in that. The rest of this division is going to be very competitive. The Dolphins have had struggles finishing out and closing the division in the past. The Bills have kind of dominated this division the last couple of years. They've been one of the best teams in all of the NFL. And the Jets have been pretty mediocre, but Aaron Rodgers is coming back, hopefully. Even as a Dolphins fan, I really want to see Aaron Rodgers play. This is a very interesting division, one of the more competitive divisions in all football with those three teams. It's a very, very competitive division. And in my opinion, though, I think the Dolphins will get it done. I think they're the best team on paper, and I think it's finally time that they will do it. I think that Tua got paid. I think he's ready, and I think that the Dolphins are going to be healthy. Last year, they struggled with a lot of injuries, and I think overall they are going to, make up for that season last year, that let down. The Dolphins they've made the playoffs the last, I think, 3 years now. So it's kind of the time where they got to, they got to get going. Making the wild card isn't acceptable anymore. You got to win a division. You got to host a playoff game. You got to win a playoff game. And I think the Dolphins are really gunning for that this year, and I think they will be able to do it. The Bills did lose Stephon Diggs. They lost a couple key defensive players too. Matt Milano's hurt right now also. So I think they are not that great of a position right now. I mean, they do have some players that could break out, like Keon Coleman, Shakir. Those two guys can definitely help Josh Allen elevate his game. He also has Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox and also James Cook. So that offense can still be dangerous. And the Jets are a very good team. They are the Jets, though. They have a lot of drama. And like with, what's his name, Hassan Reddick sitting out, that's not a great look to start your season. But Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson are going to be a devastating combo. And then you also had Breece Hall on the ground. They have potential to be one of the best offenses in all football. And that defense was one of the best in the NFL last year. So it's going to be very interesting to see what these teams will do in their division games. And it's going to be a very tight division. This division can be flipped either way. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins to win the AFC East. All right, next we'll be doing the NFC East. And my prediction will be the Philadelphia Eagles finishing first, the Dallas Cowboys finishing second, the Washington Commanders finishing third, and the New York Giants finishing last. I have the Giants finishing last because I just don't like Daniel Jones. I think that they're not a very good team when he's a quarterback. They've had success in the past, but that was a very good season for them, and that was about 2 years ago. I think Brian Daboll is a fine coach. They did have Brian Burns and Malik Nabers, who are two players I'm very high on. But again, at the end of the day, I do not think that they will be a very big force in this NFC East, and I have them finishing last in the division. I have the Washington Commanders finishing third because I am really high on Jayden Daniels, and I think they have a great up-and-coming offense, man. They have Dan Quinn, who's going to run the defense. They are a very fun team, and I think they have a lot of potential, man. They have Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, Austin Eckler running back. That's a fun team, and I think that they're going to find a groove, and I think they're going to get going over there in Washington. The Cowboys finishing second. I think that them and the Eagles are about the same, but I just think that the Cowboys aren't going to win the division. I think the Eagles are a better team. The Eagles they just match up well against the Cowboys, in my opinion, and I just don't think that the Cowboys are going to be able to hang with the Eagles. And the Eagles, man, they did lose Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox to retirement, but they added some key pieces like Saquon Barkley. They also added Devin White from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, by the way. So they are going to be a pretty fun squad again. They have Jalen Hurts, and they do still have one of the best offensive lines in all football. So they are definitely going to be just running that push all year long. And running the ball with Saquon also is going to be very fun to see with this offensive line and scheme that they have. So I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to do this season. And I just think the Eagles are going to be a very fun team that are going to be very good at football this year. And I think that they're going to take this NFC East division by storm. And I think that they will win the division. I don't know if it'll be easily. I think them and the Cowboys are going to be pretty neck and neck all year. But I think that they will end up winning the division. Winning the AFC West, I had the Kansas City Chiefs. In second, I had the Raiders. Third, I had the Los Angeles Chargers. And fourth, I had the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, in my opinion, are going to be absolutely awful this year. They may be the worst team in football. Them and the Patriots, I do not think they're going to be very good. I'm not a believer in the Denver Broncos at all. The Chargers, they have an amazing quarterback in Justin Herbert. But, they did lose Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Those are two big losses. Khalil Mack, Austin Eckler. They've lost a lot of pieces. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can find the offensive production to make up for that. I'm very intrigued to see what Jim Harbaugh is going to do this year. Then I have the Raiders finishing second. They added Christian Wilkins. That's that stellar defensive line. And, they added Brock Bowers on offense. Those are two key pieces. Gardner Minshew, a quarterback. I think that they're going to be a very good team this year. And I think that if anyone has potential in this division to knock off the Chiefs, it's going to be them. But obviously, at number one, I have to have the Kansas City Chiefs. They have two of the best players at their position of all time, in Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And they are a dynasty, man. As crazy as to say, they are the modern football dynasty right now. And I think that they will repeat, honestly. They are a great team. And, there's not really much more to say. They added some offensive players. They are going to be a very good team. And they have potential to go back to back to back and three-peat, honestly. It's going to be very interesting to see what this division comes out to, because there's a lot of mediocre, middle-of-the-road teams, like what I was saying with the Raiders and Chargers. I have no idea. They could be – I'm more confident in the Raiders, but the Chargers could be really good or really bad, and I'm very interested to see what's going to happen in this division this year. All right, coming up next, we have the NFC West, and in my opinion, I have the 49ers winning it, but the rest of them, the 2, 3, and 4 spots are very up for grabs. We have the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Rams, and those are fighting for second, third, and fourth in my opinion. And I think the Cardinals will take fourth out of all of them. The Cardinals are not a bad team, in my opinion. They have Kyler Murray, and they just added Marvin Harrison Jr. And Jonathan Gannon's actually been surprisingly well coached. They play hard, and I honestly think that they are going to end up being a solid team next year. I think maybe in a year or two, they can go back to being one of the better teams in the NFL. But I have them finishing fourth. And I have, honestly, I can't pick between the Seahawks and the Rams, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks at third. I like Mike Macdonald. I think he's going to be a great NFL coach. They have a lot of key pieces. I think Sam Howell may end up being the starter. I think that if Sam Howell touches the field, I think the Seahawks will improve. I like him more than Geno. But I just don't know. The NFC West is so competitive. And then you also have the Rams, who are coming off a playoff appearance, almost made the second round, almost beat the Lions. They have Matthew Stafford, Kyron Williams, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. They did lose Aaron Donald, but they are a very solid team. It's going to be very interesting to see how this division turns out. And then the 49ers, the 49ers are great. They have so many key pieces on that team, like Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Dude, they have an absolutely loaded team. They are very good at football, and they are very coached well. And it'll be interesting to see if they can finally get that Super Bowl they've been looking for a while. But they are a very good team, and I think they will run the division again. In my opinion, I think it is one of the more competitive divisions. But I think it's more obvious. One of the more obvious ones that the 49ers will take this division. Next, we have the AFC North. In my opinion, the most competitive division in all football. And it's tough. This is going to be a very tough division, as you guys know. We have the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cleveland Browns. Can't forget about the Browns, right? And in my opinion, I do think the Baltimore Ravens will come in first in this division. It's going to be a very tough division, very gritty. And I think that the Baltimore Ravens will take it. But if there was any team that were to knock them off, I honestly would go with the Bengals here. I'm really big Joe Burrow guy. I do believe in Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is great. T. Higgins. They have a very good offense. They are a very good football team with Joe Burrow in there. Last year, Joe Burrow didn't look his best. But, man, you can't forget about Joe Burrow, man. You know what he did when he led the team to the Super Bowl. The Steelers, in my opinion, will come in fourth. I do not think the Steelers are going to be, I think they'll end up getting there. They won't have a losing season, but in my opinion, I do not think they will win the division, unless they can make a trade for like Brandon Ayuk or something. That would be kind of cool. But they are a very good defensive team. You know, they have T.J. Watt, Mika Fitzpatrick. Those are just two players that they have. They are a very good football team. And the Cleveland Browns, man, they also have another great defense. The question with the Cleveland Browns is, will they be able to see Deshaun Watson in Texans form? If Deshaun Watson can go anywhere near that Texans form, they are going to be a very good football team this year. And if they can stay healthy, the Browns had a lot of health problems last year, which really held them back. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Browns can do. And I'm very excited to see this division. So for my official predictions, we have the Ravens first, the Bengals second, the Browns third, and the Steelers fourth. That's my predictions for this division right here. Next, we have the NFC North, and in my opinion, one of the more underrated divisions to say, because it's not very talked about as being a competitive division, but you have three teams, in my opinion, that are actually pretty good. The Bears, the Packers, and the Lions. I know you are going to be like, the Bears have a rookie quarterback. The Bears put in work. Their defense is easily one of the best in the National Football League. You have guys like Jalen Johnson, Montez Sweat, and then their offense, man, if Caleb Williams could put it together and even have a decent rookie year, the Bears should be in position to make the playoffs. The Lions overall are a team that should be contending for the Super Bowl. They have a very good team. Jared Goff's a very reliable quarterback. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Gibbs in his second year, Penny Sewell, one of the best offensive tackles in all football, and their defense is very, very underrated. And then, you know, also the Green Bay Packers, you have Jordan Love, who looks like an absolute superstar. You know, the true wide receiver one hasn't emerged yet over there, but I'm sure it will this season. You also get Josh Jacobs over there. So it's going to be a very interesting team. But it's going to be a very interesting season for them. And in my opinion, we'll have the Lions finish first in this division. I think that the Packers will finish second. The Bears will finish third. And the Vikings will finish fourth. Next up, we do have the AFC South. A very competitive division. You have the Texans, the Colts, the Jags, and the Titans. You know, the Texans, in my opinion, are the favorites going into this year. I think that the Texans have a very solid football team. They've added some very key pieces, Stephon Diggs, Danielle Hunter, and I think that they can do some damage. I really think that they can do some damage. They won a playoff game last year, and I think that they have potential to win 2, maybe 3. Maybe they can win the Super Bowl. You never know. And the Colts, in my opinion, Anthony Richardson's a very interesting player because Anthony Richardson plays how we know he can play. They could be a threat, man. They could be such a threat. The Jaguars, you know, they have Trevor Lawrence. They paid him all that money, but he still hasn't really had an insane year. He's been pretty good, but he hasn't broken out yet, which we've expected him to do. Brian Thomas is a very interesting player. I hear a lot of reports about him from camp. I suppose he's killing it, so it's going to be very interesting to see him play. And you have the Titans, who, even though no one's talking about them, they got Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins. If Will Levis can play, man, if Will Levis can go out there and shine, they could have a solid year, man. But in my opinion, we're going to go with the Texans finishing first, the Colts second, the Jags third, and the Titans fourth. Next, we are going to the NFC South, and in my opinion, one of the least competitive divisions in all football. I think the Falcons will win this division. I think it's a two-man race between the Falcons and the Bucs, so I think the Bucs will finish second. But I'm very interested to see this Falcons team. They added Kirk Cousins to the team. I'm very excited to see what they do with Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, Drake London. I think it's going to be an absolute breakout year for those guys. And I think that they have a very good team. They also acquired Matthew Judon, which I think will help their defense out a lot. And overall, they have a very, very underrated squad over there in Atlanta. And then the Buccaneers, I think, are going to have a solid season once again. I think Baker Mayfield's actually a very underrated quarterback. And I think they have potential to win the division also. The Saints, man, I'm not a very big Derek Carr believer. I think that may be their best case season. They win a wild card game, or they make a wild card game. But I don't see much more for them besides that. And the Panthers, man, honestly, if I'm a Panthers fan, I'm not really worried about winning too many games. You just want to see Bryce Young show some type of franchise quarterback, you know, willing. You want him to show that, because Peyton Manning threw 30 picks in his rookie season. Everyone was like, he threw 30 picks, but actually he showed what he had. And if the Panthers can get something like that from Bryce Young, not throwing 30 picks, but at least showing that he has the franchise capability, that's a positive season for them. They got him some weapons, and I think that overall they will have a lot better season. But that's going to be the video, guys. I appreciate every single one of you who watched the video the whole way through. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to sub. I really am appreciative of all you guys. I really, really, really do like making these videos for y'all, and I can't wait to make the next one for y'all. Make sure to comment any recommendations down below. Make sure to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. It's your boy, Asawman, out.